Chapter 1: A Night of Stories. The soft glow of the fireplace illuminated the cozy interior of the modest wooden cabin, casting a warm hue over the scene. Rufier, a young man in his late 20s, sat on the edge of his son Alaric's bed, a well-worn storybook open in his calloused hands. And so the brave knight, with his trusty steed by his side, rode into the heart of the dark forest, determined to vanquish the fearsome dragon that had been terrorizing the kingdom. Rufier read, his voice low and steady, his gaze fixed on the boy lying before him. Alaric, a curious child of 6, listened intently, his eyes wide with wonder. He loved these nightly storytelling sessions, where his father's words would transport him to distant lands filled with adventure and heroics. Rufier's devotion to his son was evident in every word, every inflection, and every gentle gesture. Mira, Rufier's wife, watched from the doorway, a fond smile playing on her lips. She admired the way her husband could captivate their son, weaving tales that ignited the young boy's imagination. Mira's own strong-willed personality was tempered by the tenderness she shared with her family, and she took great pride in the life they had built together in their small village. As Rufier turned the page, Alaric's eyelids began to grow heavy, the excitement of the story gradually giving way to the pull of sleep. Rufier paused, glancing up to see his son's eyes flutter closed, a contented sigh escaping the child's lips. Carefully, Rufier closed the book and placed it on the bedside table, then leaned forward to place a gentle kiss on Alaric's forehead. "Sleep well, my son," he whispered, his voice laced with a mixture of love and wistfulness. Rufier rose from the bed, his gaze lingering on Alaric's peaceful face for a moment before he turned and made his way to the doorway, where Mira stood waiting. She reached out and squeezed his hand, her eyes conveying the unspoken understanding that passed between them. "He's growing up so fast," Rufier murmured, his brow furrowing slightly. Mira nodded, her expression softening. "Yes, but he's still our little boy. We'll cherish these moments, for they won't last forever." Rufier gave her hand a gentle squeeze, his lips curving into a small smile. "You're right, as always." He took a deep breath, the weight of his responsibilities as a father settling on his shoulders. "I should go and fetch some more firewood. The nights are growing colder." Mira nodded, her gaze following him as he made his way to the door. "Be careful out there, my love," she said, her voice tinged with a hint of concern. Rufier paused, offering her a reassuring nod. "Always." He stepped outside, the cool night air caressing his face as he made his way towards the nearby forest. The village was quiet, save for the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. Rufier's footsteps crunched on the packed earth as he walked, his mind momentarily drifting to the stories he had shared with Alaric. The boy's innocent wonder and boundless curiosity never failed to fill Rufier's heart with a sense of pride and purpose. As he reached the edge of the forest, Rufier paused, his gaze sweeping across the familiar landscape. The towering trees, their branches reaching towards the heavens, had been his constant companions since childhood. It was here, in the embrace of the woods, that he had honed his skills as a woodsman, learning the ways of the land from his father. Rufier took a deep breath, savoring the earthy scent of the forest, before stepping into the shadows, his axe in hand. The rhythmic thud of the blade against the wood filled the air, and Rufier found solace in the simple task, his mind momentarily free from the burdens of his role as a husband and father. But as he worked, a faint glow on the horizon caught his eye, and his brow furrowed in concern. Smoke rising in the distance. Rufier's heart quickened, his instincts taking over. Something was wrong. Abandoning the firewood, Rufier hurried back towards the village, his pace quickening with each step. As he drew closer, the glow intensified, and the sound of distant shouts and the crackle of flames reached his ears. Panic gripped him, and he broke into a sprint, his lungs burning with the exertion. When he finally reached the outskirts of the village, the sight that greeted him shattered his heart. Flames licked at the wooden structures, and the air was thick with the acrid scent of smoke and the cries of his fellow villagers. Rufier's eyes frantically scanned the chaos, searching for any sign of his family. And then he saw them. Alaric and Mira, surrounded by a group of hulking, savage-looking men. Rufier's blood ran cold as he witnessed the brutality of their actions, his son's terrified screams piercing the night. Without a moment's hesitation, he charged forward, his axe raised high, a primal roar of fury escaping his lips. The world around him seemed to slow as Rufier engaged the invaders, his skill and determination fueled by the overwhelming need to protect his loved ones. He fought with a ferocity that belied his slender frame, his axe a blur as it cleaved through flesh and bone. But as he pushed deeper into the fray, Rufier's heart sank. Mira lay motionless on the ground, her eyes vacant and her lips parted in a silent scream. Alaric's small form crumpled beside her, and Rufier's world shattered, his grief and rage consuming him like the very flames that consumed his home. In that moment, Rufier knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The peaceful life he had cherished, the love he had shared with his family, all of it, gone in an instant. And in its place, a burning desire for vengeance took root, a primal force that would drive him to the very edge of madness.